50-year mortgage, which is literally the opposite of what we need. Who benefits from a 50-year mortgage? Well, the guy collecting 50 years of interest. Who loses in that deal? The guy who doesn't own his house. He's a renter for 50 years.
I don't know, man. I'm probably way off because everybody I respect thinks that is a fucking horrible idea.
50-year mortgage?
I think it's a good idea.
How?
Because I don't know anybody that has held onto their home for 30 years and paid it all down. I think that let's this county, for example, real estate prices have gone through the fucking roof. A lot of people can't afford to live here anymore. I think that you can build wealth through real estate. I think you could use the 50-year mortgage to get yourself into a market that's appreciating at a rapid pace, start to build your wealth, sell that, take the equity with you and build it that way.
There's no question you could do that.
But that's just how I think. So I think it's a good thing that 50-year mortgages are here because it gets the payment down. It gets people to be able to afford a home. Yeah, if they pay it for 50 years, they're going to lose their fucking ass. But if they play their cards right and they actually study, if they play their cards right, then they can get in, they can gain the equity. They'll gain a lot more equity in certain markets than they will pay in interest, and then they can get the fuck out and roll that into something else that's actually affordable.
There's absolutely no question that people can parlay credit into real money. There's no doubt about that. And I know a million people who've done it, and every real estate investor does that. That's what they do. And they're good at it. I would just say two things that make me concerned, very concerned about it. One is that's a very sophisticated game, actually. It is to take leverage and turn it into actual wealth. Like you got to know what you're doing. It's beyond my reach. Mentally, I'm not smart enough to do that. I'd be afraid to play with that. A. B, I think the value of a home is the ownership of it. Like that's why it's better than renting because of the psychological rewards and because it reorients your thinking toward permanence. And like, I own a piece of this. Like owning a piece of dirt is just psychologically a completely different experience than not owning it. It vests you in the country. You have something to defend. This is mine. It's not much, but I own it. You can't take it away from me, and I will take a stand on its behalf, okay? And I know in my own life, so I didn't actually own a home. I bought a house at like 24, because it was a different world. Bought a super cheap house on credit with a mortgage. And I've owned houses ever since then. So like a long time, over 35 years. But I didn't actually own a house until I was like in my late 40s. And I signed a new deal with Fox. And I was like, I'm going to pay off the mortgage. And I called my smartest friend who's like, that's so stupid. You know the tax advantages in mortgage interest? And of course I knew that because I had a mortgage my whole life. And I was like, I don't care. So you're going to lose $50,000 a year just by owning it. And I was like, so that means the system is set up to penalize me for not being in debt? Mm-hmm. I have to pay for the privilege of not being in debt to a bank? Who's writing these laws? The banks. But I did it anyway because I'm a lunatic and I'm like, I don't care. All I care about is the psychological benefit. And the psychological benefit was so much more profound than I ever anticipated to owning the house. Even though I still had steep property taxes, you don't own anything in this country because you always owe somebody something. And if you stop paying them, they take it away from you. So that's not actual ownership, but it was a lot closer to ownership. And oh my gosh, I was just like, that's when I really went crazy when I owned it. I was like, come and take it, bitch.
I'd pay $50,000 just for the peace of mind.
100%. And not just the peace of mind, but like the swelling of power. I felt like this, and it was not even an impressive house really, but I was like, this is my house. I don't pay anybody. Of course I was paying trillions in property taxes to the stupid corrupt DC government. So it was kind of a fake, it was a facade, but it was still real to me. I just feel like getting out of debt was the biggest psychological change that ever happened to me, really. It's like, I'm my own man. I own my house. Maybe I think small, okay? That's why I'm not in business. But it made a big difference. It was. That's That's when I started like telling the truth so much they fired me. I paid off my mortgage. It's like, yeah, I have no mortgage. What are you going to do about it? Fire me? Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's the best answer, the 50-year mortgage. I would rather them just lower the fucking interest rates. But
What if the bottom drops out the real estate markets? I mean, I think long-term real estate, I mean, obviously that's all I do is, I like real estate, so I buy real estate, but it's cyclical. So like there are times when, what it just happened to me actually, on something. But anyway, in the last year, the value goes down. Sometimes it's not just up. So like if you've got a 50-year note, like, I don't know, you could be more underwater than we already are.
definitely could be.
Yeah. I mean, that's happened to me. I didn't have to sell, but I mean, I've definitely owned houses where I owed more than the house was worth. Not a great feeling. You don't really feel like this is an ownership society when you couldn't sell the house for the amount that you owe on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Feels a little precarious, though I will say it does drive you to work harder.
That's for damn sure. No matter where you're watching Shawn Ryan Show from, if you get anything out of this, please like, comment, subscribe, and most importantly, share this everywhere you possibly can. And if you're feeling extra generous, please leave us a review on Apple and Spotify podcasts.